Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League season finale from the Chicagoland Speedway. Here tonight, the drivers fighting for a championship, and there's only 4 drivers eligible, and they are out here putting out some lap times. The practice session, which is about to wrap up, but we want to give you a rundown of who is fighting for a championship here and what is on the line tonight. We want to thank you for joining us here at V-Speed and welcome you to the broadcast. As we see Alec Martinez turn it hard into the outside wall. And practice session is going to wrap up. And they're going to head to qualifying. Let's take a look at who is eligible to win the championship. Who's fighting for it here tonight? The Chicagoland Speedway. 4 drivers come in with a chance. Thank you, Not Your Average Noah, for the subscription. Thank you for tuning in. The 4 drivers fighting for the championship tonight based on their performance in the 3rd round. You can see them on your screen there. And actually, it was just 2 rounds leading up to this. Vincent Arthur winning at Bristol, a close battle with Keith Mayato, and he came out on top, just a car length out in front. The number 5 car, that advanced him here to the championship round. You see Alec Martinez there, the number 18 machine. He advances in based on his performance in the points. He was the only driver to qualify in on points and had the season championship as well. So he had those playoff points really helping him out at the start of the round. Connor Horn with his 7 wins. He won at Homestead, and that locked him in here to this round. And Yusuf Ghali, the clutch performance last week at Phoenix, he took home the victory. Very controversial victory, but nonetheless, he did come out on top after dominating the race, and he advances to the championship round after being last in the points, or in the 8 in that round, and he had no shot to make it unless he won the race, and he did that. And so there is some money on the line for these drivers fighting for the championship, as we see drivers on track putting in their qualifying times. Currently, Eli Hinton with the fastest. We saw Keith Mayato with the fastest practice time, and we'll see what he can do here. There's only a few drivers that have put a lap time in. Let's take a look at the rest of the drivers fighting for something here tonight. The top 4, of course, fighting for the championship, but 5th place awards a payout as well. And right now, Adam Cabot and AJ Stravato come in tied for that 5th position. I think Cabot potentially wins the tiebreaker. We'll have to find that out. I think Stravato, with his win, may actually win the tiebreaker. But those 2 tied for it. And there is a stage in this race at lap 45, which is going to award points not to those top 4 fighting for the championship, I don't believe, but I believe for everyone else in the field, they will fight for some points there, and that could make or break their chance to finish in the 5th position. As you can see, just 6 points back to Jeff Wright in that 8th position in points, fighting for the payout in 5th position. So it'll be interesting to see that battle along with the battle for the championship and who comes out with the 5th place in points. As it looks like Garrett Keat right now on the fastest, with the fastest lap time on top of the board. And Adam Cabot, the Magic Man, out on track right now. He puts his first lap time in at 30.3. And he goes out here on his 2nd lap. Looks like the car a little bit loose, which leads me to take a look at our track conditions here tonight. 74-degree air temp and 76-degree track temp, so should be plenty of grip. And with the sun setting, it should continue to cool. So we'll see how the cars handle as the race begins and goes on. But right now, pretty cool conditions here as Cabot comes across the line. He puts in a 29.876, 6 1/1000ths off the fast time, which is Dylan Parker, one of the drivers fighting for that 5th position in points. He is currently sitting on the pole. And a little information on the track here tonight. This is the Chicagoland Speedway located in Joliet, Illinois. We are going to be doing 130 laps here, total of 195 miles, so pretty decent decent length race here tonight. Pretty similar to the last couple weeks in terms of laps, just a few more. And a stage caution on lap number 45, going to break things up. Driver's going to probably have to strategize to make it to the end if we get some nice long green flag runs. And it looks like we have a pretty solid field size in here, so that should make things pretty interesting. But this racetrack, definitely one of the more interesting 1.5 miles. And you can run different grooves here. The different grooves will come and go throughout the race. And drivers going to have to take advantage of that. Also take advantage of fresh tires and preserve their tires as long as possible with a very abrasive surface here at the Speedway. But that's going to conclude the qualifying session, the championship battle about to begin here from Chicagoland Speedway. Now let's take a look at where all the drivers are starting in tonight's race. Going to the starting grid, it's going to be Connor Horn on the pole. He puts in a 29.870. He got that right in at the end of qualifying. And so Connor Horn comes in 7 wins deep into this season, looking for the championship. He's going to start right up front. Not something we've seen Connor do here recently, but I think he wants control of this race as soon as possible. Dylan Parker going to be on his outside, just 1/1000th off the pole time. Great lap there by Dylan. We'll see what he can do in the early stages of this race. Rolling off third, it's going to be Garrett Keat, the number 12 car. Rolling off fourth, it'll be Adam Cabot, the Magic Man. As we take a look at these guys on the starting grid. In row number 3, it'll be Eli Hinton starting 5th, and Vincent Arthur going to be starting in the 6th position. So the next highest championship driver rolling off in the 6th position. Starting 7th, it'll be Jeff Wright, the number 48 machine. Elliott Butler going to be rolling off in the 8th position. Alec Martinez looks like first of the drivers to not take a time. He'll be rolling off in 9th, and Yusuf Ghali going to be rolling off in 10th. So 2 championship drivers there. Going to be fighting from the 5th row. AJ Stravato going to be rolling off in 11th position, looking for that 5th place in points. Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting in 12th. Ben Bafford going to be rolling off in the 13th position. Zach Halpern starting in 14th. Eric Hutton going to be rolling off 15th. Bailey Turner starting in the 16th position. Keith Mayato going to be starting 17th. Angelo Horonis going to be rolling off in 18th. 19th will be Eddie Trejo. And rounding out the top 20, it's going to be Elliot Carlson in the 09 machine. Rolling off 21st, it will be Chris Samard. 22nd, going to be Jeremiah Vincent. 23rd will be William Troy. 24th, Lane Sulfridge. And rounding out the field in the 25th position, it's going to be Lyle Sulfridge. And I'm not sure why we're seeing Alec Martinez all the way at the back there. But maybe he's going to have to come from the rear of the grid. And that could make things very interesting. He's been a top performer here this season. His driver's starting to get rolling here, having some trouble putting the power down. But going to be a fun one here tonight. Cheer on your favorite driver in the chat. Let us know who you are rooting for so we can follow along with them throughout the race. And who do you think is going to win the championship? Again, these are the 4 drivers fighting for that championship. It's Vincent Arthur, the number 5 car. In the 18, it's Alec Martinez. In the 42, it's Connor Horn. And in the 54, it'll be Yusuf Ghali. Right now, Connor on the pole. He has a good head start over the drivers behind him. And this is going to be an exciting one. We've had some great races and going to be wrapping up the VRL season in 2020 tonight. It's the pace car about to make its way onto the pit lane. Connor Horn will have control over the start. And Dylan Parker on the outside. Green flag in the air, and we're underway. Chicagoland Speedway for the championship finale. As Connor Horn gets a nice breakaway out in front by about 3 car lengths as they head into turn 1. And the field already a bit scattered outside the top 10. But you will see drivers pull out a little ways, and with this low horsepower, high downforce package, everyone's going to be able to reel them back in. And we saw them kind of running in almost a super speedway pack formation in practice, and some chaos did result. So Driver's going to have to be very careful to not overstep their bounds and slip out of line, because things could go wrong as Connor Horn under pressure. Garrett Keat looking to the inside, the number 12 car, as we are on lap number 2. I'm going to bring up the ticker so you can follow along with your favorite drivers. The 12 car, Garrett Keat going to go down on the inside. Here comes Adam Cabot along with him, and they're going to take over the first 2 positions, and Connor Horn going to drift back to 3rd. Dylan Parker back to the 4th position, as top 5 all single file back there fighting for the 6th and 7th position. It's going to be Vincent Arthur. Oh, and Eli hitting in the wall. There was contact. The 13 bouncing off the wall, though. I can't catch up with him. There we go. He's still riding the wall. And that could have been absolutely devastating for Vincent Arthur. Let's go take a look at what happened. If it looks like Eli just bounced it off the wall. Did make contact with the 5 car. So Vincent Arthur with a bit of damage, I think. I think he's got a little crinkle on the right front. He's going to have to overcome that. Doesn't look bad, though, from most angles. We'll have to get a little bit closer in with the camera, see what we can see. He looks clean. It looks like they did not get any damage, so lucky break there, and that really separated 7th and 8th. So Eric Hutton under pressure from Keith Mayato, who's up to the 9th position already. Keith with a lot of strong performances here over the last handful of races. Some runner-up finishes. He's been looking for another win, with the win coming earlier this year at Road America. And we've got a bunch of people cheering on Vincent Arthur. We had a scary moment already early on in this race as Adam Cabot takes the lead away from Garrett Keat. Here comes Jeff Wright to the outside. The 12 big slide there out of turn number 2. He'll hang on to it, but the top 3 all under a blanket. Connor Horn right there behind them. He's got to be careful as these drivers pushing really hard at the front of the pack. We've already seen issues with traction coming out of turn number 2. As the 48 of Jeff Wright going to lead that lap. Adam Cabot right there alongside. He's going to try and take that back away out of turn 2. Good run down the back straightaway. You see how low he goes to try and get away from the side of the 48, and 77 going to send it in low here. And pretty much full throttle, I believe, the majority of the way around. And we see some smoke there on the front straightaway. That's the number 26 of Zach Halpern, who's got what appears to be connection problems in the Land O'Lakes number 26 car. And Zach looks like he started from the pit lane. Let's take a look at Alec Martinez. And I think Alec had to come from the back. I'm really not exactly sure why he was back there. Says he started in 9th, but I believe he was at the tail end of the field. So he is charging through. He's up to 15th. As we see 3 wide back behind him. That's the 24 of Bailey Turner to the inside of Jeremiah Vincent. And that was the 2 of William Troy. Also in the mix there is now Turner goes to the inside of Stravato. And AJ Stravato not having a great start to this race. He's fighting for that 5th position in points. And Adam Cabot, the closest contender to him, as they're tied coming into the race. Cabot up in 2nd. So, and actually Cabot taking the lead back away from Jeff Wright. So you continue to battle for the top spot. Garrett Keat in the wings behind them. And Vincent Arthur starting to reel in his championship foe in the number 42. And you can see the payouts in the chat there. $200 for the championship winner, and 2nd place getting 100, 3rd place getting 50, 4th place gets 25, and then 5th place gets a nice $15. So definitely some money on the line. We want to welcome everyone to the race here tonight. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone coming out and supporting the channel. I hope you guys do enjoy the race as the battle for the lead continues to go on up here. The 12 of Garrett Keat looking for a way back out front. He took it early, and then the 77 and 48 drove right on past him, and they have been fighting it out as Jeff Wright able to get the clear over Cabot. Your top championship driver right now is Connor Horn, your pole sitter, currently riding in that 4th position. Connor led the first lap, and he has not been at the front since. But he's starting to close back in on the top 3 and maybe just conserving the tires a little bit as Jeff Wright, a little wiggle there. He's going to go up the racetrack. And here comes the 77 throwing the block on Garrett Keat early to be throwing blocks like that as they go 3 wide. Nearly contact for the lead as the 77 goes to the middle. And the 48 of Jeff Wright all the way up by the wall. He's going to be able to hang on up there, but Cabot going to have the nose out in front across the line as they're still 3 wide. And 2 championship contenders behind them. There's contact. Cabot into Keat. As Cabot made contact with Jeff Wright, is Wright going around. Oh, he's able to hang on to it right alongside the 5 car, who's already had a close call in this race. And dangerous circumstances up here for 2 of these championship contenders. And then the top 6 in this lead pack, Keith Mayato, running a bit faster than all of them. He's starting to reel in the lead pack in the 7th position. He has passed up Dylan Parker, who is the outside pole sitter. And then Ben Baffert up here in the top 10 as well. I'm going to stay up here on the front. This is exciting stuff as Vincent Arthur trying to become the lead championship driver. Connor Horn, a big slide out of turn number 4. And Vincent Arthur moves up to the 3rd position. Connor Horn dropping back as the 6 of Elliott Butler goes to the inside. Jeff Wright also trying to get back up in the mix. We saw his issues just a couple laps ago. Vincent Arthur with the big slide there. And these guys really struggling for traction out of turn number 2. And 16 laps in, nothing is getting better. It doesn't look like there's any more grip than there was at the start. And so it looks like the cars are building loose. And we've stayed green here for the first 16 laps. This is a crazy battle at the front. Cabot continues to fight for it, and what a way to end a season if he could capture the victory here and take home that 5th position in points. And he gets out in front now by a couple of car lengths. The first time we've really seen the leader break out other than the initial start. But Garrett Keat starting to close back in as they head into 3 and 4. And he rides that seam there behind him. Let's take a look from Keith Mayato's nose. Let's see what he's doing. We can listen along with his throttle control. So a little lift and then ease back in as they go through the center of the corner. And you can see Vincent Arthur sliding up the racetrack there in front of the 48. And Connor Horn right here in front of Keith. Is Keith continuing to reel these guys in. He's running about a 1/10 and a half faster than anybody else on the racetrack. After starting back in the 17th position, he is definitely closing in, and we've seen him do that week after week now. As at the front, these 2 continue to fight it out. It's Cabot and Keat. Side by side into turn number 3. The 12 is going to leap out in front now. As he slides up the racetrack, the 77 going to fall in behind for the moment, but he gets a big run out of turn number 4, and he's going to get right to the back bumper. Where does he go? Into turn number 1. He'll be tucked in behind him, trying to get the nose some clean air, half a car length underneath him. But you can see how hard he's pushing there. A little wiggle out of the corner, and it's just back and forth among the top 2 or 3. As you can see, the top 8 all within 1.7 seconds. Dylan Parker, the only straggler, a little bit farther back in that 8th position, and then it's quite a ways back to Eric Hutton, who rides in the 8th spot. He's got a new paint scheme on that race car. Looks like an invert of what his usual scheme is. Great looking car there, the Chick-fil-A number 88, and behind him Taylor Butcher Benjamin holding up the 4 of Angelo Horonis, who looks like he has made his way through the field and also putting down some really quick lap times. He goes to the inside of the 11. He'll take away the 10th position as he slides up in front. And Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to look back to the inside, get a good run down the front straightaway. And Ben Bafford starting to fall backwards, the number 23 car. But up here, still the top 7 all nose to tail. And I agree, Reggie. It is too early for the racing we saw. The stage break coming in about 23 laps. It'll be 23 this time. And Connor Horn onto the pit lane. He'll put some fresh rubber on that race car halfway through the stage. And we'll see who elects to bring it in next time if they have to. But Connor running about, all these drivers running about a 1.5 seconds off the initial pace. As they remain on the racetrack, the top 6 gonna remain out there. Top 7. And the second pack here led by Angelo Horonis and Eric Hutton and Taylor Butcher Benjamin, all fighting just inside the top 10. Ben Bafford, Bailey Turner, Yusuf Ghali, another championship contender. He's right there with Alec Martinez. So we've got Vincent Arthur, and we had Connor Horn up at the front battling it up. And then we've got these two much farther back in the 13th and 14th positions. Right now, 3rd and 4th in the championship hunt. Chris Simard right behind them. Let's take a look at Connor Horn on the racetrack once again. He is 1 lap down. Zach Halpern still having some connection problems at the back of the pack. And Eli Hinton, he's still sitting on the pit lane. Looks like he's probably done for the night. So unfortunate way to end the season for Eli, who's had a couple great runs. I actually believe he came out of Phoenix with a top 3. So, and it looks like we've got a few drivers coming in. That's Garrett Keith Mayato. Gonna bring it down the pit lane. I don't see anybody else. That's gonna be it for now. So those drivers making their way onto the pit lane. And at the front, it's still Adam Cabot leading Jeff Wright, the 77 and the 48. And they will remain on the racetrack again. Dylan Parker going to bring it in this time. And let's see if anybody else selects to do that as well. Looks like Chris Simard also on the pit lane. So drivers here pitting just past the halfway point in the stage as Chris rolls into the box. He's got an updated paint scheme on that race car. Some white numbers versus the dark numbers we saw before. And Adam Cabot continues to stay on the racetrack and hold off the 48 of Jeff Wright. And I'm wondering if these guys can make it to the end of the stage. As here goes the 48 to the inside, trying to take the lead away. The 77 about 2 grooves up from him. And it looks like Wright going to be able to clear him. He does not come up in front. Now he does. As they head down into turn 3, the 77 gets in line. And we'll see if anybody else brings it down the pit lane this time. As here comes Cabot, the Magic Man, slowing it up. Hard entry onto pit lane. And just keep an eye out. Looks like Alec Martinez, Yusuf Ghali, Ben Bafford, Eddie Trejo. Eddie Trejo is not on the pit lane. Lane Sulfridge. Oh, big slide there. I think he had an issue getting on the pit lane. And let's actually take... Yeah, he missed the entry, so he's going to have a penalty in the number 71 machine. He'll have an extended stay on the pit lane as Jeff Wright leads now by almost a second over Vincent Arthur in the 5 car. And Vincent, the last of the championship drivers to remain on the racetrack. As you see Connor Horn in behind them, he's going to be first car 1 lap down, and he's starting to reel in the leaders at about a second a lap. So he will be up there in just a handful of laps if they remain on the racetrack. There goes Vincent Arthur. He's going to come to the pit lane very conservative under braking. And we'll see if that hurts him overall, but he's going to bring it down. And Elliot Carlson also going to bring it on. So he gets that car woed up. And that is going to leave 10 drivers yet to pit. Jeff Wright out in front. And when does the 48 bring it in here? Does he think he can stretch the fuel for another 14 laps when he gets to the line here? He's also got to make it around a couple pace laps. Got to keep that in mind. The 48 car out in front, 1.7 seconds over Elliott Butler. Is Connor Horn going to unlap himself and move up into the 12th position? The last car on the lead lap in the 48 remaining on the racetrack. Just keeping an eye out for anybody else that seems to be slowing up, and I don't see anybody else bringing it down just yet. Yeah, the top 10 remaining on the racetrack. Actually, top 11, Zach Halpern here at the tail end of the lead lap. After starting from the pits, he's going to have to try hard to remain on the lead lap, and I think after pitting, he will be a lap down with Connor Horn bypassing him right now. But still watching to see if the rest of the field going to bring it in. It looks like Jeff Wright remaining on the racetrack, only a little over 10 laps to go. Yeah, it looks like they're all going to try and stretch it. I don't see any indication that anyone in the top 10 going to be bringing it in. As Elliott Butler here gets passed up by Garrett Keat. The 12 car getting leapfrogged significantly. And Connor Horn about 5 to 10 seconds up the road. So actually it might be farther than that. I think it's 17 seconds up the road between Connor Horn and oh, actually, no, it is only about 5 seconds. Timing and scoring had to update there for me, but Jeff Wright remaining on the racetrack, 3 seconds now. The gap back to Elliott Butler, who you see on your screen here. He's second. Angelo Horonis in third. He's got drivers with fresh tires coming up behind him. And at 24, actually, Bailey Turner has not pitted, neither has Hutton or Stravato. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Jeremiah Vincent, and others yet to pit, as here comes Chris Samard. He's got fresh tires. You can see him slice his way through these guys. Samard in the 18th position. He's going to have to work hard here to get back on the lead lap. Taylor Butcher Benjamin up the racetrack. That car sliding all over the place here out of turn number 2. He gets a hold of it, and down the back straightaway, he's back to 7th position, has yet to pit. Or may not elect to pit here. He's about 8 seconds off your leader, Jeff Wright. As Stravato looks like he's going to bring it in this time. Oh, and we've got a wreck on the front stretch. Bailey Turner around, caution out. That's going to hurt some of these drivers. Now trapped a lap down. And who is going to stay out? Who's going to pit? As Bailey Turner goes around during the pit cycle. He brings out the caution. We saw some contact there. It looked about 3 or 4 wide. Bailey Turner, he was on the back bumper of Angelo Horonis, the 88 of Hutton. We saw right on his back bumper Chris Samard weaving his way through. He goes down underneath the 24. Tries to come up, gets into the back of the 4 that makes contact with the 24. And then he goes around. Looks like Horonis also receiving a bit of damage. Let's take a look from his perspective. The 88 of Hutton, big avoidance. And then Alec Martinez did get a piece of it. And he was working his way up through. What kind of damage does he have on the race car? Looks like some left rear and maybe gonna have right rear. I'm not exactly sure, but let's go back and watch this. See, it was right in the middle. He gets a little tap there from the 4. Should just be the left rear. I want to ride on board with the 88 of Hutton. That was a close call. I think he stayed off the 24 of Bailey Turner, but everything happened right here in front of him. And what a great job to get on the brakes there for Eric Hutton. That 88 car lives to race on. But interesting now with the pit cycle not being complete. It looks like Stravato going to remain on the racetrack Is he going to trap some of these guys a lap down? Actually, it looks like it won't really trap anyone other than Chris Samard, Lyle Sulfridge, and Lane Sulfridge laps down, as Lane had the problem getting on the pit road. He went 2 laps down during that process. But it's going to show AJ Stravato at the front. Jeff Wright going to win the battle off pit lane, and I think some of those championship drivers going to be a bit farther back. Where's Connor Horn in the mix here? He's showing his 10th position. Vincent Arthur 17th, Alec Martinez 18th, and Yusuf Ghali in 19th. So we've got a group of them back here towards the 20th position. And then you've got Connor Horn up there in 10th. But definitely craziness already here in the first stage. And we're going to have a couple laps at the end of this stage before we get another yellow. So our driver's going to try and save some tires here, or are they going to try and race it up and get up there and gain the track position back under green? We'll have to find out, but we will be right back after a quick message from the Brawl Network.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSpeedSyn. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And back at the racetrack now, just got the one to go, and drivers taking the wave around after getting trapped a lap down. That's going to leave Jeff Wright, your leader. He's got a long ways to go. Catch up to the pace car. Adam Cabot leading this group, actually right there behind the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge as they take a wave around. Chris Smard made a second pit stop just a lap ago, so he's going to have a full tank of fuel and some fresh tires. We'll see what he elects to do at the end of the stage here after getting caught up in that caution. And this would be big for Jeff Wright to take the stage victory away. I believe he is going to be able to score points. As we take a look at the points coming into tonight's race, you can see he's all the way at the bottom there in the 5th through 8th battle. But this could be a nice solid 5 points at the end of the stage here. And no championship contenders up there in the top 5 just yet. Connor Horn, the closest to the front in that 8th position, as we're going to get the green flag back again. And Jeff Wright, a good jump on the restart. He leads Elliott Butler and Taylor Butcher Benjamin there in that 2nd row. The 11 drops down to the inside. He's going to take a look to the inside of Butler, but not going to happen as the 48 out in front. Jeremiah Vincent now moves up to the 4th position, and Eric Hutton drops to the 5th spot. We see Connor Horn already gaining 1 position. He's up to 7th right now, and the next closest championship driver is Vincent Arthur in 16th. Things just falling not the way he wanted there, and you can see Alec Martinez, who has a bit of damage. He's back here in 17th. Yusuf Ghali back in the 19th position. As it looks like possibly an issue there for Halpern, as he's very slow. Once again, up at the front here, just going to be 1 to go to the end of the stage. As here goes Jeremiah Vincent looking to the inside. That is not going to work as the 48 cuts him off. Going to give him some dirty air on the nose of the 8 car, and Eric Hutton all over his back bumper as they take the 1 to go in the stage. Lap 45 up on the board. Who's going to come away with the stage win? It's Jeff Wright, Elliott Butler, Jeremiah Vincent, Eric Hutton, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin as they run. Oh, we've got a car on the apron. That's the 2 of William Troy. Does he hang on to it? He's gotten control of that race car back underway, but that was close for Connor Horn, who was right on the outside of him, as Jeff Wright fighting to hang on for the stage victory. Here comes Elliott Butler looking to the inside. It's not going to happen. Jeff Wright at the line. He's going to win that stage. A great run there, and he gets some very helpful bonus points as we take a look at our stage results. It's Jeff Wright with the 5 bonus points, the 1 playoff point. I'm not sure they're going to be the playoff points worth all that much at this stage of the season, but Elliott Butler coming home 2nd there. Jeremiah Vincent in 3rd. Eric Hutton in 4th. And Angelo Horonis taking away the 5th position there, and all earning some bonus points. As we end stage number 1, quite a ways left to go in this, and I'm going to be interested to see what the pit call is going to be here for some of these guys. Being out there for a couple laps at least does definitely slow you down. So we'll see if any of the drivers who were towards the back elect to stay out, try and get some track position out of this, and if the drivers at the front do bring it in on to the pit lane. I think that there's definitely going to be drivers towards the back staying out, unless the leaders elect to stay out. Then they're probably going to bring it on in, get some fresh tires on their cars. Connor Horn was able to finish 7th in the stage there, and it looks like a lot of drivers bringing it in. Chris Simard going to stay out. He'll take a wave around. And I am surprised that nobody's going to elect to keep it out on the racetrack other than the lap cars. Very surprising call there. Unless it does look like Zach Halpern possibly keeping it on the racetrack. But he's showing a lap down, so looks like he's just going to try and take a wave around here. Chris Simard gets the lucky dog. So he'll get to come in and get some fresh tires, and let's see if anybody else stays out. Looks like Lane and Lyle Solfridge, Zach Halpern, the 3 that are staying on the racetrack. And winning the battle off pit road, it's going to be Elliott Butler, a 2-tire stop, along with Angelo Horonis also taking 2 tires. So that could be interesting on the restart to see those guys struggle for some traction on the get-go. But only 550 horsepower. I think they could probably figure out how to put it down. We want to welcome all the viewers here tonight. Please consider following or subscribing. You can hit that follow button, hit the bell icon, and you'll be able to follow along with us as we broadcast each and every week. This is the last race of the season for the Virtual Racing League, but we hope to be back with them in their next season and in the future beyond that. This is a very exciting night for a lot of these guys, and I know that they are looking forward to a little bit of a break, but also going to be refreshed, recharged for that next season. Welcome, Blazer Pete. Thanks for joining. And you can check us out on all these social media links you see on the screen here: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We post announcements before each and every broadcast on Facebook and Twitter, and you can see some interesting sim racing content as well as real world racing content and other automotive media on our Instagram. Sometimes we do some on-site reporting from all types of motorsports events, so you won't want to miss out on that stuff. Go check us out on those platforms. We're going to be doing a giveaway when we get to 500 followers here on the Twitch channel, and you got to be a follower of us over on Twitter to be eligible for that. So check us out over there and follow along. You'll be eligible when we get to the 500 follower mark. We'll probably do that. I think we're going to be doing that giveaway on Twitter rather than on the broadcast, so stay tuned over there. You can also find race replays over on our YouTube channel, which is just V-Speed on YouTube. We just put up last week's race with the crazy finish at Phoenix. You can go check that out on the channel, along with other races from other series we've broadcast in the past. A lot of exciting racing over there from the last year and a half or so. And pace car lights are still on, so I think we're going to cut to another quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big, all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retail. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
And we're back. Green flag in the air. Elliott Butler stacks him up. But we are back underway. Jeff Wright gets right to the back bumper, but he loses a couple car lengths getting up through the gears as Butler now stretches it out in front. And Hronis, who took 2 tires, he restarted in second, but he's already back to 4th. As you see, Connor Horn moves up into the 3rd position. Does he make his move towards the front now? He goes to the outside of Jeff Wright. And the 6th car sliding up the racetrack. He's trying to hang on to that thing. It's all over the place as he goes really slow up the racetrack. There goes Connor Horn and Jeff Wright, and he's going to be a sitting duck out here on those 2 tires. Not the right call with the way these cars are handling here tonight, even just a couple laps. As Connor Horn looks to the inside, Taylor Butcher Benjamin loose on the apron. He stacks him up. Adam Cabot through the middle, and they all stay pointed in the right direction. What a miracle that is, as the 11 car got on the apron. A scary moment for championship contenders and other drivers as Jeff Wright maintains the lead, but Connor Horn, he's got the bit in his mouth and he's looking to take that lead back away. He's all over the back bumper, really trying to put the grip down or get some grip as the 48 into the wall. That opens the door for the 42 who looks to the outside, but here comes Butler back to the inside. And those two tires seem to be working for him here now that he's got some temperature back in him. And he's all over the back bumper, now going to look to the outside of Jeff Wright. Connor Horn right there in the mix. He's in the 3rd position. His next closest championship contender, Vincent Arthur, back here in 9th, has made up some ground. He's fighting with AJ Stravato now, though, loses that 9th position. He'll drop back to 10th for the moment, but at the front, Connor Horn now looks to the inside of Elliott Butler and try and take 2nd away, but it's so hard to make that inside line work. You get the momentum from the high line as Butler's able to do here. He can keep his foot in the throttle, and he's still on the outside. Oh, almost an incident there. The 6 nearly had the run to the outside. The 42 slammed the door, and he's got to be careful about doing that. That could cost him the championship if he does it one too many times or a little bit aggressively. Oh, there goes the 12 around off the nose of Cabot, and he's going to come up into the 88. The 9 gets involved. And I don't know if any championship drivers involved in this, but what a crazy sequence. They were 4 wide right there. And let's see what happened. Kind of saw it at the back part of the camera view there. As the 12 was on the inside of Elliott Butler, the 6 goes up the racetrack. The 77 got a good run out of turn number 4. He goes to the inside, and just the 12 keeps coming down on him. He gets spun around. 88 of Hutton slams into him. And then I think there was someone else involved. Let's take another look back here. Alec Martinez was right there by Hutton when this all happened, and Yusuf Ghali also right behind. As Mayato nearly involved, it looks like, wow, I think everybody else escaped cleanly. That is, oh, Dylan Parker involved. He was the other driver. What happened to Dylan? He got some serious damage as he lost control, overcorrected, and slams that wall. Man, close call back there for championship drivers, Alec Martinez and Yusuf Ghali. That is a big pucker moment, as they say. Let's take a look from Yusuf Ghali. As he sees them all wrecking that 12 car, you don't know what's going to happen. He was trying to find a way around. The 2 car almost got into him. And man, what great job getting through there for himself as well as Alec Martinez. Let's take a look at Alec's route through there. Alec does have some damage from a little contact in the earlier incident, but luckily he was able to just keep it down on the apron and avoid everything. A good job there. And I don't believe the 5 car, Vincent Arthur, was in that. But he was right behind Dylan Parker, so scary moment for sure. He was able to clear that pretty easily. Keith Mayato also able to get through. And Vincent Arthur, I think a speeding penalty. It's going to send him to the back of the pack, and that is not a mistake you want to make here, as we're right around the halfway point. Yeah, and I'm on the edge of my seat because I really don't know, when we have these cautions, it could involve any of the championship drivers. And that would instantly end their night, end their chances for a championship. And you just hope that doesn't happen. You want to give each guy a fighting chance to go out there and win this. As Connor Horn going to be your leader after the pit cycle. He takes the lead away. Jeff Wright going to be in second now. And then the 5 car, Vincent Arthur, gets sent to the back of the pack. That moves Alec Martinez up to the 10th position and Yusuf Ghali into 8th. So those guys starting to make their way up towards the front, but still a ways to go. And I would love to hear if there is a tire limit, because that could really shake things up. Some drivers already making 5 pit stops in this race. Bailey Turner, the driver of the 24, he has made the 5 pit stops here. Everybody else 4 or less. Bailey does have that right side damage after the earlier incident. You can see the banners on the windshield there. As the championship drivers, or chase drivers, playoff drivers, that's the word I'm looking for, still fighting for it, have the red banner on the windshield. You can see that's still lingering on the 48 car from the previous round, but he is still fighting for that 5th position, so there's still something up for grabs for sure for the number 48 car. Taking a look at Keith Mayato here, who started 17th. He's up to the 8th position. He was charging and caught that lead pack in the early stages. I think he's going to have something here for the battle. So no tire limit here tonight. So that's good news for some of these guys who, you know, might be willing to try a couple things with the pit stops. See Ben Bafford back here. He's in the 11th position after starting in 13th. He's had a quiet night here. He was up, I think, around 7th or 8th early on, but drifted back outside the top 10. Is yet to recover. And Chris Simard up here in the 13th right now, so recovering from the crash as he made his way through traffic. And he was a lap down, had to take the lucky dog. Back up here in the 13th position. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who was up towards the front just a few restarts ago, he's back here in 14th. And Taylor has not had, he had a great finish. I believe it was Daytona, the first race we broadcast, and has not had a lot of success since then, but we'll see if he can turn that around here and end the season on a good note and set himself up well for moving into next year. And Vincent Arthur, he's going to have a lot of work to do from the 19th position. He's got a long ways to go to get up there and fight for the lead. We'll see what Vincent can do. It's going to be pretty crazy to watch him drive up through the pack. I'm sure he's one of the more conservative drivers in the field. And so that's it's going to be interesting to see him be aggressive here and try and navigate everything as we're just around halfway. He's got another half the race to get up there. He's got time to recover, but he can't go too slowly. He's going to have to get up there with some time to spare for sure. Is Connor Horn going to have control over the restart? And this is really the first time we've seen him at the front since the start of the race. As Jeff Wright trying to get some more heat in those tires. Pace car makes its way onto the pit lane. And green flag back in the air. Connor Horn gets us going. 48 car drops right in line with him. Behind them, it's Jeremiah Vincent, Elliott Butler in 3rd and 4th position. Elliott Butler, with that 2-tire stop, was able to hang on to the track position and stay up here in the mix as we had 3 wide for a moment. Cabot able to clear the 4 of Ronis and the 37 of Mayato. And here comes Alec Martinez up to 7th. He's got a little damage on that race car, don't forget. But what can he do? Does he still have the speed in it as he goes to the inside of Ronis, trying to capture that 7th position away? It's Connor Horn and Jeff Wright racing it out for the lead. We've seen these two battle it out this season a couple times. Primarily at the Roval, we saw the 48 of Jeff Wright take out the 42 in the closing laps to go on and win the race. Connor Horn came home on the podium, but not in victory lane where we thought he could have, as they fight it out side by side through turns 1 and 2. Now onto the back stretch. It's side by side for first through fifth, as Butler able to clear. He goes into third, and he'll have control of that. Behind him, it's Cabot and Vincent fighting it out, and Jeff Wright taking the lead away from the 42 of Connor Horn. He got a good run out of turn 3, or out of turn 2, and was able to capture that. As Connor going to look back to the inside. He got very close to the apron there, a little bit sideways in the middle of the corner, and good run for the 48 once again. We'll see if he can clear him here down into turn 3. Doesn't look like it. And Connor going to dive it in there on the low line. Top 5 once again side by side. Adam Cabot, big wiggle in the middle of the corner. He's able to hang on to it. And here comes Jeremiah Vincent looking back to the inside for the 4th position. And we see Ronas back there with Alec Martinez. The 4 throws it in on the low side. Oh, there goes the 8 on the apron. Able to hang on to it. And that's going to cost him all the momentum that he had, and he'll drop back here right around the 10th position and duking it out with Keith Mayato and Ben Bafford. 23 nearly on the apron there. He's going to go to the inside now. They'll be 3 wide for the moment. Back to 2 wide. Here comes Samard putting pressure on the 8 car as Vincent, wow, Jeremiah Vincent very sideways that time by. I think he heated those tires up, made him a little bit angry. It looks like RTV. I'm Matthias 8. Looks like you're cheering on Vincent Arthur, but headed to bed. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you coming out. So we put lap number 69 on the board. The 48 car of Jeff Wright hanging on to the lead, just barely over that 42 car. Connor Horn very aggressive on the back bumper, and Elliott Butler right up in the mix with him as well. We've seen Connor go backwards as the run progresses. Mainly the first run, but I think he was saving and just trying to stay out of trouble, as he's really got the afterburners on here to the outside. The 48 of Jeff Wright, he's going to look to take the lead away out of the corner here, down the back straightaway. And it's Connor Horn with the nose out in front into turn number 3. Through the bumps in that set of corners. Seen that 42 car perform incredibly well here at this racetrack in real life, as Jeff Wright able to clear him by going down on that apron, but Connor once again wheeling it up on the high side. He cuts it back down low, and he'll get another big run out of turn number 2 as he peeks down to the inside. The 6 car gets blocked by Cabot, who moves into the 3rd position. That 77 car looking very quick here tonight. He has led 13 laps in the early stages of this race. 48 down low, 42 rides right up there in the middle of the racetrack. Here comes the 77 down to the inside, looking to take second away, but Connor Horn making that outside work in 1 and 2, and he'll get another run down the back straightaway here. Nearly clears that 48 car. Still unable to do so. They battle it out side by side. Looks like Wright going to be able to lead the race again. An absolute wild battles for the lead here tonight. As the 48 slides up, he's going to throw a slide job on the 42, but Horn crosses him over. And here he goes. He's got the inside line now in 3 and 4. I think he's going to win this battle this time. So the 48 still foot on the gas. He's got a good run. He'll drive down to the apron along with the 42. He's still on the quarter panel. Going to keep Connor down there a little bit longer than he wants to be. And now the roles are reversed. That 48 car in the high line, the 42 down low. 48, good run down the back straightaway, but we haven't seen Connor be able to capture the lead away from Jeff. in that upper line, but the 48 doing a good job up there. Looks like he's able to work it a little bit better, still unable to complete the pass, and we are still side by side, nearly contact as they come across the line. And Cabot right here behind him, he's going to make it interesting. Look 3 wide there. Nope, he'll drop in behind. A little ways back here, Elliott Butler now losing position. Yusuf Ghali up into the top 5. Here comes the 54. Started in the 10th position is Elliott Butler way up the racetrack. He's going to lose another spot to Angelo Ronas. And at the front, looks like Jeff Wright has completed the pass. They go back to as they were. And it is aggressive racing out here. The 42 down low, still trying to get inside, still trying to complete a pass. He is having a hard time doing so, and definitely has the speed here. Here comes Cabot looking to the inside. He gets on the apron a little bit and runs up the racetrack. That'll cost him some momentum, as it looks like Alec Martinez can move up to the 7th position. He's bringing Keith Mayato, Jeremiah Vincent with him as they bypass Elliott Butler, who's fallen way off the pace here. He's now about 3/4 tenths slower than everyone else in the top 10. But Alec Martinez in 7th. Vincent Arthur is the last of the playoff drivers in that 14th position. He's got a lot of work to do still. As he's currently 2.7 seconds back. Gonna have to figure something out. And perhaps a short pit will be in order for the driver of the number 5. Is Jeff Wright able to get a car length out in front of Connor Horn, but it still remains a car length out of turn 2. Stravato moving forward. He looks to the inside. And the 77 now goes to the high side. Here comes Ghali to the inside. The 54 moves up to the 4th position. Good move there, and he's definitely got some speed. He's starting to close in on the top 3. That time by about a 1/10 and a half slower than those guys, but he was making a pass, so that's to be expected. And Alec Martinez having some connection problems here tonight. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt him. As Keith Mayato right there behind him. Those guys definitely closing in. Running some very quick laps back here. Keith going to look to the outside. They're behind the 4 car, who's started to go the wrong way. Keith has been working a higher line for a good portion of this race. You get that big run out of turn 2. And Ben Bafford getting passed up by these guys. Or no, that's Dylan Parker, rather. He's got no nose on the race car and about 2.5 seconds off the pace. Not the way he wanted to end the season. He will not come home in that 5th position in points. But had some good runs here in the playoffs, just not quite enough to make it up into the championship fight. So we'll see what he can do to capture a couple more points before this is all said and done, as the battle for the lead continues to rage. And Yusuf Ghali up into 3rd. He's taking that away from Adam Cabot. Cabot now falling into the clutches of AJ Stravato. And we're going to keep an eye on the lap times this next time by and see who's running some quick times. Looks like Ghali was right in line with the 42 in terms of lap time. And this time by, he's about a 1/10 faster than the top 2. And fastest driver on the racetrack was Alec Martinez. He's still down in the 32nd range. Everybody else up, or he was at a 30.9. Everybody else in the 31s. A 31 flat, 31.1 for the leaders. It's Jeff Wright, big wiggle there. Here comes Connor Horn looking to the outside. Jeff Wright might not be in the championship hunt, but he knows he can still get a win, and to end the season on that note. He would be ending with his 3rd win of the year, which would be 2nd most in the league to the driver who's right behind him, who's got 7. Nobody else has more than 2 coming into tonight's race. And the 48 car able to create a small gap there, and Yusuf Ghali now in the picture. He's putting pressure. Now looking to the inside of Connor Horn. We've seen Yusuf be very aggressive the last few races. The 42, big wiggle there, but able to keep the car up to pace. On the outside line, the 54 drops in behind. And Alec Martinez, you see that car closing in. He's up to 5th. The only outlier, Vincent Arthur, back in the 11th spot. He has the speed to run up here. He's just got to get back in the mix. And there could be something to be said for staying back there and keeping the tires underneath you. As big wiggle there for Stravato. He's going to lose a lot of ground to Yusuf Ghali, and that's going to allow Alec Martinez to close in. The 18 staying up there on the racetrack, not going to use the apron. That allows Cabot to look to the inside as they go into turn 1. Not going to be able to make that move work. The 18, a nice run there out of turn 2. He's going to be right on the back bumper of AJ Stravato headed into turn number 3. Does he make any kind of a move here? He'll look to the inside, and the 33 going to back off a little bit. He's just going to hand it to him. Says, I'm not going to get involved in that championship fight. I've got to try and hang on and earn points for the 5th place in the standings. And right now, I believe it would be Jeff Wright as they run. You know, with the victory, he'd be earning the most points, and he already won the stage. As he got a bit close to the wall. Here's Connor Horn on the bumper. Yusuf Ghali, he's now within striking distance, and Alec Martinez in that 4th spot. We've got 3 contenders, 2nd through 4th. Just waiting for the 5 car to arrive to the party. He's got a ways to go, but he is faster than these guys by a couple tenths a lap, so I think he could get there. Just got to be careful making his way. As we see a big block down there, the 33 blocks the 77 all the way to the apron. Cabot going to dive it in hard here in 3 and 4. Stravato been very aggressive with the blocking, so has Cabot. These guys are not playing games tonight, even though it is a simulator. There's some money on the line for those two. And everybody wants the glory, and that's definitely the case here. Is now the battle for 2nd. Yusuf Ghali to the outside of Connor Horn. Yusuf is driven from about 8th or 9th position on this run. He's now fighting for 2nd here as he gets a little loose on the outside. That'll hurt his run. But they remain side by side down the front straightaway. Right on the quarter panel is the 54. And he drags the 42 back just a little bit. The 42 of Connor Horn drifting up the racetrack. Does he put the 54 in the wall? No, they stay off of it. But I don't think Yusuf very happy about that. He's going to get right to the bumper. He'll look to the inside, and Connor's got to be very careful with the way he's racing. As here comes Alec Martinez as those two battle it out. Craziness among these 3. The 54 to the inside. He's going to take 2nd away, and Alec Martinez now trying to take 3rd. Thank you for the follow, J Banks 97. Connor Horn back to the outside in turn number 2. That's allowing Jeff Wright to pull away now half a second out in front. This is wild. Crazy moves from these guys as Connor Horn still putting pressure on the outside of Ghali. It's been so hard to pass when they get side by side like this. Yusuf down low. He's still trying to complete the pass. I think Connor's going to be able to get him back here. As he pinches him down on that low line. Nearly contact between the 42 and the 54 as we've got a slow car. That's the 71 machine. Lane Sulfridge, who just pitted. And Eric Hutton, he is still on the racetrack after getting involved in the previous wreck, but Connor Horn able to take second away. So second, third, fourth, as Vincent Arthur up to ninth now. He's starting to reel those guys in. Up here in the top 10, it's not over for the 5 car. And I think pit stops could be starting here pretty soon. As we're basically halfway through, and the 5 car gonna bring it onto the pit lane with Stravato in front of him. The 33 locks it down. The 5 slows it up nicely. And those two, the first ones to bring it in along with Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And this could completely flip the running order on its head as Jeff Wright leads. Yusuf Ghali now trying to take second back away. And when do these guys bring it in, knowing that Vincent Arthur has brought it in? Here comes Connor Horn. He's going to react to the 5 car and really aggressive on pit entry. Locks it way down. Does he have the car slowed up? As looks like Adam Cabot, Elliott Butler also bringing it in here, and that leaves about, I don't know, 13 cars on the racetrack. Jeff Wright, when does he come in? And when do these other drivers bring it in? Here comes the 54 and the 18 and the 48. Oh, 48 big lock up there. Here comes Mayato as well. Looks like Samard as well. As Connor Horn wins the battle off the pit lane from the previous set of drivers coming in. He didn't have a speeding penalty, so he was very quick on pit entry. What is it going to look like when they cycle out? Jeff Wright getting service done on that race car. Connor Horn on the backstretch. Connor coming out of turn number 4 right now. He's got to navigate some of these slower cars, but I think he's going to come out in the lead. It's Jeff Wright just coming through 1 and 2. Connor Horn's probably going to be showing up in the screen right about now. There he is. Jeff Wright getting up to speed here. Connor Horn, he's going to go right on the outside. He'll take the lead away. And Vincent Arthur gets up in the mix now. He's in front of Alec Martinez, but he doesn't get anywhere close to Connor Horn. That gap is still somewhere in the 2.5 second range where he was previously, and he has an extra lap on the tires. So 5 car gonna have to be very careful here and not burn his stuff up. He has the speed. He's got to just be patient. And still 5 cars left to pit. Jeremiah Vincent, your leader, as we cross over and lap 100 goes up on the board. The top 5, the only cars on the lead lap, Connor Horn. First car 1 lap down, and he's bringing cars with him. Jeff Wright is about 1.1 seconds back, so that's the difference in pitting 1 lap earlier with a very aggressive pit entry. Connor Horn creating a big margin over the 48, but looks like Connor got slowed up quite a bit right there. He loses a couple tenths while trying to make the pass on Jeremiah Vincent. Yeah, Jeff Wright about 2 tenths faster last time by, and he's going to be very aggressive with the fresher tires. And knowing he has a gap to make up. But Yusuf Ghali right here in 6th. He's in front of AJ Stravato. And then it's Adam Cabot, Vincent Arthur, and Alec Martinez behind them. So Alec Martinez, not a good cycle on the pit lane. As we see Bailey Turner bring it in. The top 4 remaining on the racetrack. Or rather, looks like just Jeremiah Vincent on the racetrack. So Vincent Arthur nearly making contact with him. I think the 8's going to be bringing it in here. He's getting passed all over the place, and he does bring it onto the pit lane. He'll get that car slowed up nicely. Connor Horn's going to cycle out as your leader here, but Jeff Wright reeling him in now, just a half second between those two. 48's going to catch the 24 in a bad spot. That'll hurt his entry into the corner just a little bit, as he is being aggressive on turn entry, starting to close that gap way up. Now just down to 0.4 of a second. And Connor Horn, he's got to see that 48 closing in. He's got to see the 54 also closing now, just 1 second back. And then Ben Baffert back here, he is he's going to be a lap down, but he has fresher tires, significantly fresher tires than the top 5. But the 48 has arrived. It's just the roles are reversed. The 48 not in control, as he has been for a good portion of this race. It's Connor Horn, your pole sitter, who leapfrogged the 48. He's in control now, but he's under some serious pressure. And Yusuf Ghali not closing the last couple laps. He's still a second back. He has a nice little bit of clean air, though, between himself and these guys battling it out. We'll see what he can do. Connor's got to be very careful to not burn up the tires and push too hard. Same can be said of the 48 and everybody else on the racetrack, but Connor has older tires than everybody else in the top 10. Just 1 lap older. Oh, 48 drifting way up the racetrack. He's going to get a big slide out of turn 2. That'll cost a little bit of time. Still a car length back. So they fight it out going through 3 and 4. And the 48, a nice big run here as they head into turn number 1. He almost slams the wall, trying to get a very wide arc, and he's right on the back bumper of Connor Horn. Little wiggle there. It's been so hard to put the power down out of turn number 2. Yusuf Ghali not able to close. He's still back here about 1.1 seconds. When does he start to try and reel them in if he can? As Jeff Wright, probably the 54's best friend right now, he's putting all this pressure on the 42. The 42 doesn't have to win the race. He's just got to finish in front of his championship rivals. The 48 really all over the back bumper now, and here comes Yusuf Ghali. The gap just 0.9 as they cross the line that time. Now the 48 goes to the inside. We'll see if he can do it here. He gets pinched down. Connor holds him down there. 48 gets loose. That'll slow him up quite a bit, but helps out Yusuf Ghali. Now he's 0.8 back. Starting to put down some very quick lap times. And Alec Martinez moves into 4th. Adam Cabot 5th. Vincent Arthur, he pitted just a tiny bit earlier, and he's starting to feel the effects. I think he's going the wrong way, back to 7th position, and 3.8 seconds behind your lead battle. But up here, Yusuf Ghali now just 0.7 back, and actually now down to a half second. He closes way up out of turn number 4. A big run down the front straightaway. He's got Ben Baffert giving him a nice push. Those Team Toyota machines working nicely together. The 54 closing in now. It's going to be a 3-way fight for the lead. 4th place Alec Martinez over 3 seconds back and not really closing. So under 20 laps to go. It's winding down, but the battle winding up. And the 48, still so much pressure on the back of the 42. Jeff Wright really pressing him, and here comes the 54, just a 0.2 margin to the lead from the 54. And he is closing. He's fastest car on the racetrack these last few laps. He had the clutch win last week. Can he do it again? After coming from the mid-pack here, the 48, big slide. He's going to lose a lot of time. Here comes Gali to the inside, trying to take second position away. 48 going to push into that corner really hard and see if he can cross over the 54. Gets a good run, but I don't think he'll be close enough to do so as Gali gets the draft from the 42. That margin back up to about 0.3 of a second. This is the fight we need to see. Two championship drivers. And Connor Horn's feeling the effects. He's pushing hard. That car slipping and sliding, and Yusuf Ghali seemed as smooth as can be in that 54 car. He has not led a lap. He started 10th. He ran outside the top 15 for a good portion of this race. Now he's charged up and he's about to put up a fight for the lead. He finished second in the championship battle. You see the big wiggle there. Just 2 car lengths. It'll be 15 to go next time by. Thank you, Joey. Thanks for tuning in. Great battle here. Looking forward to the race at Michigan tomorrow night. For the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series, that'll be a fun one. Big field in that series in these first few races, so looking forward to a kind of crazy race over there. The 42 of Connor Horn, though, he's doing his best to hang on tonight. And he is maintaining that gap now, 2 car lengths between himself and Yusuf Ghali. The 42 has found another gear. It's going to be so hard for Yusuf to make this pass. He's got to work the draft just right and time the move so that he gets out in front of the 42. The gap now just a half car length as they head into 1 and 2. Yusuf not afraid to use the bumper. We've seen that in the past. Nearly brushing the wall there. Still a car length between them. And the 4 battling for the championship, infamous sloth, is Connor Horn, Yusuf Ghali, Alec Martinez, and Vincent Arthur, currently running 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 7th. These 2 at the front, though, your main competitors for the championship right now. And that 54 car looking very strong. He's been able to run in the wake of the 42, which is so hard to do. And we're coming up quickly on 10 laps to go to the end of this season, the end of this championship. Connor Horn looking for win number 8. Yusuf Ghali looking for, I believe it's win number 3. What a way to end the season if he could get back-to-back wins here. A clutch victory at Phoenix. And be a clutch victory here tonight if he can get there. But the gap still a car length and a half. Connor Horn looked like he almost brushed the wall. That 54 car going to make a move down to the inside. 42 throws the block. It's going to put the dirty air all over the nose of the 54, and that gap's still 1 car length. But Yusuf Ghali, he knows the time is running out. He's going to have to be aggressive. No challenge from Alec Martinez or Vincent Arthur, and the 5 moves up to 6th position, but he's 4 seconds back. Oh, the 42, a little slide there in the middle of the corner. He is working his tail off in that 42 car. Connor Horn showing off the skills he's shown off all year. Can he hold off the 54? 10 laps to go at the line this time. This is the fight. This is the championship on your screen. The 54 looks to the inside. They go into turn number 1. Yusuf throws it in there. Can he complete the pass? Trying to slide up in front. He can't do it. The 42 remains on the outside. They're side by side down the back straightaway. 10 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali showing his hand here. He sends it in deep. Going to try and pull the slide job. 42 cuts back underneath. The crossover move across the start-finish line. It's the 42 of Connor Horn. but Yusuf Ghali is alongside him now and can try and pinch him down. Doesn't look like he's going to be quite far enough alongside Connor Horn. Going to pull the same exact move. Yusuf Ghali right to the back bumper. He's going to go to the outside. Nearly contact as the 42 cuts him off. Jeff Wright still a half second behind. He's actually been running about 2/10 faster. You know, he wants this race win as well. And Ben Bafford really just holding him up, I think, in the battle for the lead. Starting to heat back up as Yusuf Ghali, big slide there. He gets the power down pretty nicely, though. A car length between them. He's going to look down low. The 42 going to throw the block once again. Oh, 42 on the apron. That's going to allow Yusuf Ghali to the inside out of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, it's still Connor Horn with the lead, but just barely. And the 42 going to put the nose out in front. Can he complete the pass in 1 and 2? He's been so aggressive on turn entry. Connor Horn so good in that second line, though. Oh, and Ben Bafford almost losing it behind him. They're still side by side. The 54 really heavy into the corner there. He gets a good run, though, on the low line. Connor Horn trying to keep up with him, keep that car along the quarter panel, and they will continue to race it up side by side. It'll be 5 to go next time as Yusuf dives in deep. The 42 still on the door. Oh, they're both sliding out of the corner. Still side by side for the championship battle. And the 54, oh, he dives it in deep once again. Can't complete the pass, though. The 42 of Connor Horn still working the outside line. This time at the line, I believe it's Yusuf Ghali. Oh, and there's contact. The 54 gets into the 42, sends him up the racetrack. Yusuf Ghali, 5 laps to go. He's in the lead, and Connor Horn trying to hang on to it. Almost catches the 48. Oh, and there they go. Connor Horn around. Caution out, Connor Horn. Championship going out the window. Frustration for the driver of the 42. I think getting the best of him there, and he loses control on the backstretch. Brings out caution, ending his championship hopes. 7 wins on the season, so dominant. And that battle was intense. It was only a matter of time until somebody made contact. And they just get together. The 54 went in a little wide. The 42 cut down. And they make contact. Connor was trying to hang on to it. He nearly turned the 48. And then he just cuts up in front of the 23. Slams Ben Bafford into the wall. And that opens up an opportunity for Alec Martinez and Vincent Arthur, who find themselves in the top 5. It's not over yet, as Connor Horn going to remain on the racetrack. As, oh, the 54 gets a tap from the 48 into his box. 54 going to have a little damage on the back bumper. We'll see who wins the battle off. This is absolutely wild. Who's going to try some strategy? Here comes Keith Maiato, a great pit stop. He might win the battle off. I think Keith Maiato wins the battle off pit road. A 14-second flat, that's the fastest time on pit lane, and it earns him the race off pit road. So Keith Maiato could win this thing. Jeff Wright in second off pit lane, Yusuf Ghali, and then Vincent Arthur, Alec Martinez, all right on top of each other, and it's going to be a green-white checkered finish. Where have we seen this before? Thank you, Chase the Race 17, for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in. You're joining at a fantastic time. This has been an absolutely wild event. It's Connor Horn going to bring it in. And I think he's throwing up the white flag, essentially, here by doing so. That car really beat up. He hit the wall pretty hard. Thank you, RTV. I'm Matthias 8. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the follow. I think the 48 just barely caught the 54 as he turned into his box, but Yusuf, we'll have to take a look at that back quarter panel. I'm not sure. He does have some left front damage. He should have some right front from the contact with the 42, and he now has some right rear. And with Vincent Arthur back in the mix here, he's been very quick. And Alec Martinez up there too. This is going to be absolutely insane. I don't know if one of those guys can even win the race from where they're restarting, as Keith Mayato has the lead. Keith has been looking for that win these last few races. He's been pretty quick here tonight. Just running around the top 5, and then number 36 machine finally leading some laps here in this race. And looks like he's saving the best for last. We'll see how he does on the restart. But Jeff Wright looking like he's in a pretty good spot to potentially take home the 5th position in points. And Yusuf Ghali going to have to hold off these other two. As I'm trying to see if pace car lights are still on. See what Connor Horn has done here. If he was on pit road for quite a while, over a minute, trying to get as much damage repaired as possible. And you never know, those three could wreck each other. We got some green-white checkered attempts. And Connor might be able to put in some pretty solid laps still, even with all the damage. And I'm holding my breath for everybody involved here. This is a scary moment, nerve-wracking for these championship drivers. They see who they need to beat right there in their mirror or out the windshield. Yusuf Ghali gonna have to time this restart. And Vincent Arthur in a really good spot to get a good restart in that second row on the outside. That's a really nice position to be. You got a great view of the leader and when he goes. As they're going to go side by side now. Pace car lights are off. Championship contenders are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You see them right there on your screen. Keith Mayato and Jeff Wright up here in the front. They're going to be fighting for the victory, and so is everybody else, but money on the line, a lot of money to the champion of this series, $200 and then $100 for second place. So you know, it means a lot to win. $200 is a nice little chunk of change for racing in a simulator. And then also a trophy. We're working on the trophy with these guys for the champion of the series. It should be a pretty cool one. Looking forward to that. And here we go. Pace car through turns 3 and 4. Keith Mayato in control for the first time tonight. Pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn onto the pit lane. Mayato holds him down for a second. And he's going to wait all the way to the green flag. Great restart by the 48. They stack him up behind. And Jeff Wright getting a better start than Keith Mayato. Could Mayato see this one slip away as they make contact 3 wide back there? Zach Halpern in the middle of Chris Samard and Jeremiah Vincent. Now Yusuf Ghali blocked in between the 48, the 18, and the 36. Now Vincent Arthur going to go up high. Can he make a move? If they get to the white flag, that's going to be it. They're racing it back no matter what. Keith Mayato out in front. He's in front of the 54 and then battling behind them. There's the 48, or the 5 and the 18. The 54 hanging on to the championship. right now, but here comes Vincent Arthur with the run. Here comes Alec Martinez with the run. Vincent Arthur, as here goes the 54 to the inside. He'll make it 3 wide with Keith Mayato. Mayato next to, oh my gosh, contact there, the 5 into the wall. Vincent Arthur's chances go up in smoke. Here comes the 18 of Alec Martinez right to the bumper. Yusuf Ghali will win the championship here tonight in the Virtual Racing League at Chicagoland Speedway. My heart is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. Keith Mayato loses that race after the contact. He's going to actually end up way back in 15th position. Unfortunate for Keith. He had this race as the 54 took it to the inside, and they just got all messy there in 3 and 4. Let's actually go back and take a look at that and see the winning moment of this race as they flew down into the corner there, 3 wide for the lead. The 36 drifted up, he catches the 48, and the 5 goes into the wall. Mayato able to somewhat hang on to it. He loses it here on the front straightaway. A lot of cars pass him up, and what a run by Alec Martinez. He went to the outside, didn't have the speed. He gets right to the bumper, and it was almost there, just a half car length separating them as they burn it down. That's the 54. And the Toyota Racing teammates here on the front straightaway. What a race, what a finish. Yusuf Ghali, he leads only 4 laps and 2 victories to end the season. He's going to be your championship or champion here in the Virtual Racing League. So congratulations to Yusuf Ghali taking away that victory. And we're going to wrap up the season here in the Virtual Racing League. He is your champion. 3 wins on the season. Started 10th in this race. Comes home your winner, holding off the other championship drivers on the green-white checkered in a crazy finish. We're going to go to commercial break and be right back with the post-race interview. So don't go anywhere. We're going to want to hear from the top 3 drivers as well as the other drivers in the top 4. And so we're going to do a few more interviews tonight, seeing as this is the final race of the year. We will be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series, sponsored by this podcast and partnered with V-Speed. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at V-Speed Sin. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
We are back at the racetrack now. Going to be bringing up fourth place in the point standings, Mr. Vincent Arthur. We're going to do this a little bit differently and go backwards through the points. We'll talk with third place finisher as we get to him, Mr. AJ Stravato, and then we'll talk to our season champion here. So we'll be bringing up Vincent Arthur. We'll see if he's up here. Vincent Arthur, this is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, Vincent, not quite the finish you were looking for here tonight, but man, you gave it a shot there through 3 and 4, and you had to come from the back in this race. You tried a little strategy, the pit cycle there, and you had a chance. Give us a rundown of the race this season, and if you're looking forward to next year.
To start, overall this season, I feel like, we definitely learned a lot over at Checker Flag Racing. We were able to, get our cars more competitive. And so overall, I feel like the season was a win. I don't think we showed championship level speed, throughout the regular season, but, once the playoffs came, I knew nobody expected me to do anything. So, having that underdog attitude and just trying to prove everybody wrong. So, the playoffs, went much better than I expected, but, I'm just glad I was able to come out here and race with these guys. But as for the race today, we qualified decently, but we were able to sit there, save our tires that first run, and then we were able to get up there. I thought we had a really good shot if we were able to stay up there, but shot myself in the foot with speeding penalties. I thought me and the 4 were gonna have contact on pit road, so I gassed it up trying to get away from him, and guess I went a mile an hour too fast on pit road. So that sucked. And then trying to get through traffic, it was just couldn't do anything. We were all pretty much the same speed. If I was really pushing the car, I was just burning up my right rear, just dirt tracking it all over the place. And when we pulled that strategy call, I feel like we had a shot at least at finishing third or second in the championship. And I saw them racing up there, and I knew I might be able to get lucky with the caution. And then we did get a caution that kind of saved us. Wish I could have restarted on the bottom, or there was one point where I almost had Alec cleared, but stuck his nose back in there. Any racer's going to do that, so I can't blame him too much. And then that last corner is just unfortunate. I feel like if they didn't have wrecked, I would at least had something for him off of 4. But it is what it is. We'll look forward to next year. I think we proved to people that we are a contender, and we'll be back next year, and we'll win the championship then.
Yeah, definitely showed a lot of speed here in the previous rounds, both of the rounds of the playoffs, and then here tonight. You were definitely up there contending for a good portion of this race before that penalty, but you fight your way into contention to the very end, and 3 wide doesn't always work out, but you gave it your best shot, and definitely a lot of fun to watch you drive it out here tonight. And you're gonna come home 4th in the championship, so you had that underdog mentality. You still proved a lot of people wrong, and I think there's a lot of positives for sure to take from it. So congrats on P4 in the championship. It was a lot of fun again to watch you here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's race and this season?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I got to thank Full Tilt Brewing Company, sponsoring the entire year, and I'm really disappointed I couldn't get these guys a championship. I feel like I had a really good shot there at the end, and just circumstances took me out. But I got to give those guys a lot of credit. They believed in me, sponsored me all season. So I really appreciate their support. And then I got to appreciate I got to thank my family. You know, they've been staying up late watching me race on Wednesday nights when they got work on Thursdays. So, you know, I couldn't be more thankful for everything they do for me. You know, I wish I could have got a championship for them too. But, you know, we look forward to next year, and hopefully we'll go out there and get it.
Yes, sir. And looking forward to seeing what you can do with a fresh start next year. You had a lot of fans here tonight, and hopefully they stick with you here in the off season and through to next year. But congrats again on P4. Go grab that cash from Reggie and you know, have yourself a great night and get rested up here.
Will do. Same to you. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. That was fourth place in the
As the
championship.
Leonardo DiCaprio meme, I was like, oh.
That was fourth place in the championship. I moved myself instead of Vincent, but fourth place in the championship, Mr. Vincent Arthur. Looks like Connor is not here, so we're gonna bring up third place finisher in tonight's race. That is AJ Stravato. Let's see if we can see him on the racetrack at all. Looks like we're not gonna be able to see his race car, but we're gonna bring him in the booth. AJ Stravato. This is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, AJ, you had a pretty interesting race here. You kind of found yourself around the top 10 for a good portion of it, and things got crazy in that last corner. You come home in the podium position here in third place. Did you expect to finish there with the way things were going in tonight's race?
No, not at all. I used up some of the tires. I got a little bit of right front damage, so I was just on attack mode that last restart. Just trying not to mess with the championship 4, and they wrecked, so I just found myself right behind the 2 leaders right there. So I wasn't going to mess with their race. I just wanted them to kind of run their own race, but it's good to finish third.
Yes, sir, and I think that might actually lock up the 5th position in points. We'll have to get official word from you know, race control and from the admins here, but you know, give us a rundown of your season, how you felt you performed overall, and you know, what you're looking forward to next year.
This is a league with a lot of really fast guys, so I was up there when it mattered, I think at the end of the races, so I think we did well there. A little disappointed we didn't get in the Final 4. Chicago is one of my favorite tracks, so just kind of riding around, letting the Championship 4 doing their thing this race. Wish I was a part of that, but I think the right driver, I think, won the championship, so you know, just happy to be in 5th, looking to build off of that next season. We found some speed, I think, this year so far, so looking to build off that.
Yes, sir, and you've been a lot of fun to watch. You're very aggressive at times, but also showing a ton of speed, and we definitely do look forward to seeing what you can do next year with a fresh start in the season opener. But you come home P3 here tonight, started 11th. Solid run for sure to close out the season. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Just all my buddies who are watching. Congrats to Yusuf again, and all the admins and everybody at VRL for doing a great job.
Awesome, AJ. Well, congrats again on P3. Have a great night.
Yeah, man. You too. Thank you.
All right, that was third place finisher AJ Stravato. We're going to bring second place finisher up, Alec Martinez. Alec Martinez, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
We do.
Well, Alec, you found yourself not really in contention for the championship fight, but late caution gets you back in the mix there, and you come up just about a half car length short to your teammate in the 54 machine. Give us a rundown of your race, and you know, if there's anything you could have done to take that championship away.
Yeah, you know, if I was a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, but I think Yusuf and Connor were the cost of the championship 4. But I don't know, that caution kind of saved me with Connor bringing it out. It was my only shot really of getting the field bunch back up, and you know, having one last shot at it unless we had a green white checkered, or another green white checkered. So, you know, but hats off Yusuf. He did a hell of a job. You know, Toyota race 1-2 in the championship, 1-2 in the last race. So, just awesome, really awesome.
Yeah, you guys, same order last week, right? I believe you came home second to Yusuf in that one. So, closing out the season with a ton of momentum. Just, you know, how do you feel about this season as a whole? You won the regular season championship, and you had a good run here in the playoffs. You know, how does that affect your confidence, and are you looking forward to next year as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next year. You know, a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence going into next year with Yusuf, Brandon, Ben, and Eli. Hopefully we can all work together. So, we'll see what happens next year. Still a little bit to go, probably. A lot of things in the works, but I would expect the admins to get everything sorted, and hopefully come back next year with probably a lot more guys and just a lot more competition. And the competition's already high in here, and make it more. I think the races will be really good. I'm happy and I'm excited for next season. I want to get it started up.
Yes, sir. It's been a lot of fun to watch you guys here for these last 10 races of the year. With field sizes between 19 and 27, something like that, still putting on fantastic races week in and week out. So you've been a big part of that, challenging week in and week out for wins. You're up there in the top 5, getting constant podiums. I think this is probably your 5th or 6th that you've had here since we started broadcasting. So obviously very quick, and should feel very proud about a P2 in the championship and a P2 in the race tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Definitely Reggie, Mark, Jeremiah, Elliot, putting on this league. It's been really fun this season. I've enjoyed it a lot. You guys for obviously doing the broadcast, and all the viewers watching. Nothing would be possible without you guys watching, and hopefully we put on a great show for you guys tonight, and hopefully we put on a great season for you guys next year. And just want to thank all of you guys watching. Hopefully we can go get it next year.
Yes, sir. It's been a lot of fun watching you this year, Alec, and once again, congrats on P2 in the race and in the championship. Have a great night, and go grab that cash from Reggie.
Yeah, thank you. One more thing, hats off to Yusuf, Ben, and Eli, great teammates throughout the year. We may have had a little troubles throughout the year, but all of us working together, it's been great. I'm very happy for Yusuf, and glad he got the championship, man. He really deserved it. So Toyota Racer 1-2, it's been a great year, so thank you.
Yes, sir. Wrapped it up with a lot of momentum, and looking forward to next year. But great run here tonight. Have a good restful night, and go celebrate.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, that was P2, Mr. Alec Martinez, and the time is here to talk to the champion, Mr. Yusuf Ghali. Going to be bringing him up into the booth. Yusuf, this is Adam, the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Gotcha, Adam.
Well, we kept you waiting the longest out of everybody, but you finally get to show your excitement here and celebrate in the booth with us. You come home the winner here tonight after an insane battle for the win at the end, and you stole it away. 2 clutch victories in a row at the end of this season. How are you feeling right now? What does it feel like to win the championship here in the VRL?
First iRacing championship overall, so it's something new. I didn't really know if we were going to be able to get it at a track like Chicago, because these 1.5 miles have been a little bit harder to be good at because of how on throttle it is. So I came in here hoping for a top 3, honestly. So it hasn't really sunk in that we are the champions, I guess.
Yeah, it wraps up so quickly like that, and then with the way the playoff format works, it's just the one race, and it's kind of, I don't know. I think we're all still in the mode of season-long championship battle, because you're fighting for so long in that first part of the season. But you were so clutch here these last 2 races. You take the victory, somewhat controversial last week, but you dominated the race before that. Tonight was a little bit of a different story. You came from around the 15th position, I think, early on in this race, and you charged your way up there in the mix. The pit cycle kind of worked out, and you caught back up to Connor and Jeff there at the very front of the field. And what an insane battle between yourself and Connor. Can you give us just a little summary of what happened there, and what you were doing to try and make your way past?
As soon as the pit stops happened and I realized I was about a second or 2 back from Connor and Jeff, I figured just save tires and hope that I can use their draft to stay with them, and then they can race each other like they were, and then I'd be able to drive by on fresher tires. And that's sort of how it worked out. It's just Connor was extremely hard to get by. It was a lot of fun racing with him till the end there, because he's one of the hardest racers in the league. So
yeah, definitely a challenger. He was looking for his 8th win. I think you come out of here with your 3rd win, so definitely a force to be reckoned with here in this series. You finished 2nd in the regular season championship, and you missed a few races in there too, I think. So definitely showing great performance. And then throughout the chase, you found yourself on the back foot a few times. So, what was it like battling from behind and trying to get through and just make it to this race?
Well, I built up a lot of stage wins and stuff throughout the regular season. I think I had the most stage wins. So the first round was kind of easy to get through, but then you go to the second round in Bristol, I got a 40-second speeding penalty, I think, under green. So I think I finished like almost in the 20s there. So that kind of put me behind the 8-ball. And then at Homestead, I got murdered the first lap. So that put me in the back. And then we go to Phoenix, and I was obviously in a must-win. So I tried doing everything I could there. I think I led like 50 of the laps. And obviously, we all know how the finish was. So it was just a stressful 3 races, honestly.
Yeah, and we could tell that you were racing for everything last week, and you came out on top where you needed to be, and you come out on top on the championship once again. You only lead 4 laps of this race, but somehow you find your way to the front when you need to, and that seems to be the story of what happened here through the playoffs. And you come out with the championship trophy. You come out a couple $100 richer, so that's pretty awesome. And I guess just before we let you go, give us a rundown, how you're looking forward to next year. You think you can go out there and contend again for another championship next year?
Season, we're going to have a couple more drivers in the league. They should be really, really hard to fight with. So I don't know about another championship contention, but I think we should be able to contend for a top 2, top 3 in the points again.
Yeah, and we'll look to see if you can repeat next year. But you come off 2 wins here at the end of the season, so obviously some great momentum, a lot of confidence. Going into next year, I think. So a lot of fun watching you here. Very aggressive racing in the last 10 races of the season. But you come home with 2 wins in a row. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for the championship tonight and for the race win?
First off, I'd like to give a shout out to my teammates, Ben, Eli, and Alec. Then next is my spotter for this race, Brandon McKissick. Awesome guy, love him. And then the last 2 would be the V-Speed team, you. And then Mark, Jeremiah, Elliot, and last of all, Reggie.
Awesome. Yeah, they do a great job running here, and we've enjoyed so much watching you guys compete week in and week out, put on fantastic races, and you're a big part of that. So congrats on the win, congrats on the championship, and go grab your money from Reggie and go celebrate, man. All right, that was your champion here tonight, Yusuf Ghali, who wins the last 2 races of the season in clutch fashion. Tonight it was a 3-wide pass on the last corner to take the victory away. He holds off Alec Martinez and others to win the championship. Let's go take a look at our full race results and then passing on to another iRacing channel here on Twitch. We only had 4 cautions in tonight's race, 1 right before the initial stage, the stage caution, and then 2 cautions throughout. And so a lot of fun, a lot of long green flag runs. We had 2 sets of green flag pit stops, a lot of exciting racing, and the battle at the front, you can tell by that lead change count, 29 lead changes. It was very competitive at the front of the field, and Yusuf Ghali was able to come out on top, your champion here in the Virtual Racing League. He's going to come out of here $200 richer and also with the trophy. So congrats to Yusuf on the victory, and congrats to the rest of the top 4 and the 5th place points finisher. And Reggie, that's who I was asking about, so if you want to mention that. I believe it's AJ Stravato with his 3rd place finish here tonight, but we'll just have to confirm that. But Alec Martinez comes home in 2nd. AJ Stravato, a nice strong finish to the season, in 3rd. Angelo Huronis, who had a very up and down race, he comes home in 4th. Chris Samard, after getting caught up early, he comes home with the top 5, surviving that last wreck. Jeremiah Vincent 6th. Zach Halpern, who was a lap down for a good portion of this race, he comes home 7th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin 8th. Connor Horn, going to be disappointed for sure. I know he's frustrated, and we couldn't get an interview in with him. But Connor, you had a great season, man, and a lot to be positive about. Obviously, this race didn't go the way that you wanted, but you gave it everything you had, and definitely the class of the field throughout the year. So nothing to be too upset about, other than it slipped away from you. But He comes home in 9th position. Adam Cabot comes home in that 10th position. Good run for him, but may not be quite enough to come away with the 5th position in points. William Troy comes home with 11th. 12th place was Elliot Carlson. 13th was Bailey Turner. 14th, Elliot Butler. 15th was Keith Mayato, who had the lead going into the final corner. Vincent Arthur comes home 16th. 17th was Lyle Sulfridge. 18th, Jeff Wright, after getting caught up in that wreck as well. He was up there fighting for the lead. Eddie Trejo comes home 19th, and rounding out the top 10 was Lane Sulfridge. 21st, it was Ben Bafford. 22nd, Dylan Parker. 23rd, Eric Hutton. 24th, Garrett Kite. And 25th, rounding out the field, was Eli Hinton. He didn't get to complete many laps here tonight. He will finish last place on the field. But once again, your winner tonight, Yusuf Ghali. I want to give a big thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight and throughout this season. We appreciate you guys so much, and really looking forward to next year. I want to thank all the folks at VRL and all our sponsors, the Brawl Network, NASCAR Brawl Podcast, Drops, Renegade Coffee Bar, Kent Beer, and so many others that help make this possible. Really looking forward to next season with even more drivers and more competitive racing action. So you'll be hearing more from us on that here in the next couple months, I think. We'll be figuring some things out, but looking forward to that so much. And we want to thank you all for viewing tonight. If you enjoyed the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. You can hit that follow button and the bell icon and stay notified of when we go live. We'll be live for the next 10 or 15 weeks on Thursdays with the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. And we may have some other leagues coming on here for the next couple of months. So stay tuned with us over on our social media networks as well. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/vspeedsim. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at vspeedsim, as well as over on YouTube at vspeed, or you can type in vspeed media. That should work as well. You can find race replays, including all of the VRL broadcasts from this season, over there. You can also check us out at vspeedsim.com if you're interested in any other design, graphic design, 3D design, or other sim racing services. You can check us out over there. We do paint schemes, and we can help you out with your rig and help you just figure some things out to make your iRacing experience that much better. So check us out over there and see how we can help you. And let's see who we can jump in with. Once again, thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's been a fantastic season, and really looking forward to next year. Once again, let's see if Mr. David Schildhouse, he is not on, so we're going to jump in with Mr. Briar LaPrade at Patriot Briar. So stick around and join us with the raid, and thank you. Have a great night.